back to the Racing Records podcast. This is part 2 of our Dublin Racing Festival podcast, and we hope you enjoyed part 1 so far. So we're going to get straight into it. Day 2, we have 4 grade 1s, and we'll start with the first of them, the Tattersalls Ireland Spring Juvenile Hurdle. I can't look much further than my Cheltenham Anti-Post Bet Cerberus here. If you haven't already seen that video or any of our Anti-Post Bet videos, be sure to check them out on our YouTube channel, Racing Records. Anyway, Cerberus is trained by Joseph O'Brien, and he was recently bought by JP McManus. I'd be very surprised if he didn't win here. He's 11-2, which in my mind is just crazy. He has ran incredibly so far, and he didn't run too well last time, but he was bet by what probably will go off as the favourite for the Triumph Hurdle All Mankind. But he still came a good second. The odds-on favourite here, Aspire Tower, he's not really convinced me at all. He has won his races comfortably, but he hasn't bet anything that Cerberus hasn't. It should be a good battle though, lads.
Yeah, I was at Cheltenham last Saturday and watched the juvenile hurdle there, and the Henderson good thing got turned over there as well. I think these juveniles will obviously change over very short periods of time. Cerberus there has had the 4 runs, whereas Aspire Tower's only had 2. I think that's in his favour. Whenever this group pick up horses like this, you have to take note, especially with Joseph O'Brien training there. And I'm with you all the way there, Ryan.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there too, Ryan. Cerberus really does look classy. Like, the way he beat Wave of the Sea at Ferryhouse. I actually said it to somebody that day, later on that day. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him running in JP's colours next, because they had high hopes for a Wave of the Sea, and whenever he beat him as well as he did, I think it was definitely on the cards.
You can make a claim for Aspire Tower off that. He bet a Wave of the Sea by 36 lengths last time they met.
Yeah, I thought he was a wee bit disappointing after that Cerberus defeat.
The only thing to say about a Wave of the Sea, when he got beat, he made a mistake quite early in that race. And again, these juveniles do tend to make these mistakes and then perhaps don't finish the races as they should. He does have experience there. He's had 5 races, so he's one of the more experienced in the field. So yeah, you could make a small case for him. Aspire Tower for me is way too short.
Yeah, definitely, it's very, very short.
Yeah, 4-7 is just far too short for a horse. He's only ran twice over hurdles, and he hasn't bet anything that Cerberus hasn't.
Yeah. I will say one thing though, that John McConnell horse, Never Do Nothing. I watched an interview John done the other day, and he talked. He was pretty sweet about him, but he says it was definitely ground dependent whether we go there or go to Musselburgh. Again, I know he won in Musselburgh on New Year's Day, but you never know. He might be something that might sneak into a place if
he won
goes
that
there.
on soft round, didn't he?
Yeah. So
they were good soft.
He says in the interview that they were going to leave it as late as possible, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes, because that could be a factor.
So moving on, the Chanel Pharma Novice Hurdle is a cracking race. It's got some cracking horses here, including Envoi Allen and Abracadabra. Envoi Allen is currently 3 from 3 over hurdles, and also never got bet in a bumper. He's arguably the best horse in this field on the form, and I'd be surprised if he wasn't in contention jumping the last.
Where do you think he'll go at Cheltenham, Ryan?
I think he'll go to the Ballymore, the novice hurdle. He's 6-4 favourite for that, I think. So he should be going there.
Is he second or third favourite for the Cheltenham champion hurdle, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's 12-1 or 14-1 for that.
Yeah, I think but as a novice, I think he should go to the novice race first. I'm sure Gordon's not listening to me.
He doesn't listen to Eddie O'Leary anyway, I don't think.
For me, this Mount Leinster was second to Easy Work. Has gone on and won since. It's not the ideal pattern to come into this race, looking at the history of this race, but has a bit of a squeak. I was looking at this race earlier actually, and we've got previous winners here of Classical Dream, Sam Crow, Cardi's, Nichols Canyon, Vitor, Champagne Fever. So some fantastic names.
It really is fantastic.
This race could be on to some good things in the future. And this Envoi Allen, again, saw him in the bumper at Cheltenham last year. Unbelievable up the hill there. Has done what he's needed to do this year. Maybe no more than that. So maybe Sunday's the day to come out and show what he can really do.
I did like Mount Leinster. He was a horse I really liked last year, and I really followed him in the bumpers. He's gone over hurdles twice so far, winning and coming second. He won a nice maiden hurdle here at Christmas, and I don't think he'll win, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on in the future.
I like Abracadabras in this. He looked impressive one at Christmas. Although Envoi Allen is in the race and Easy Work is in the race. And Wally Mullins has got two good ones in it as well. But I think he was serious impressive when one at Leopardstown. It looks like a horse that possibly wants further. He made a mistake coming 3 from home and had to shorten up slightly. But whenever he jumped the last, the turn of foot he showed after, like he just spring heeled and away went. They can pull clear. I think he looks good in that race.
Willie Mullins there, you mentioned he has two good horses in it, but the great horse that he has, Asterion Forlong, he's very lightly raced. He ran once in a bumper, which he won, and then he ran once so far over hurdles at Naas, which he also won. He won that by at least 10 lengths, and he's another unbeaten horse in the race. And he is, of course, in the colours of Gold Cup winner Albin Photo.
Albin Photo, yeah.
He's 8-1 for this. What do you think on him?
He definitely wouldn't have without a chance coming from the Willie Mullins yard. You know, the way he won the last day at Naas, I think it was serious impressive. And I think they knew they had a good one on their hands.
Right, so before we go through the Gold Cup field, we'll look at the Flowgas Novice Chase. We're in store for an absolute cracker here with this race. It's Faugheen versus Battle Over Doyen. Faugheen definitely has more miles on the clock than Battle Over Doyen, but that shouldn't matter at all, lads.
Battle Over Doyen just about won, I think, last time. I think it was the last time he ran. Made hard work of it. His only blemish was at Cheltenham last year, and you could apparently there were excuses over the way he travelled over and ended up pulling up on the day. Faugheen, is Faugheen the price he is because he's Faugheen? Is he really gonna become a chaser of any sort of stature over time, or is this like a fleeting end to a fantastic career? I'm with the younger one. I'm with Battle Over Doyen here. I think he'll have the measure of Faugheen.
Faugheen's dominating run at Limerick it's very hard to ignore. Beating Sam Crow, it was an incredible race. But on the other hand, you have Battle Over Doyen, who has tugged the fences like a duck to water, to say the least.
Yeah. There really is only two that you can look at in this, isn't it? It's Faugheen and Battle Over Doyen. So it is.
And I think Battle Over Doyen, they've talked him up for a while. Elliot was very positive last season and said maybe Cheltenham wasn't going to be the right time. It turned out it wasn't the right time. But I think they've got a superstar in Battle Over Doyen.
And they definitely have a good line under the form there with Sam Crow, so they're going to know what they've got on their hands going on to the race.
Right, so moving on to the Irish Gold Cup. I'm not going to lie here, lads. I would have been tipping Upsize and John here for this. I think he's an incredible horse, and it's just a real shame to see him out again. He looked like he was coming on very strongly before he fell last time out. I really do hope we get to see him back racing again, but I'd say he might be retired here.
It's a serious shame for the Harringtons. God, that horse. Like, I was in Punchestown the time he won the Punchestown Gold Cup, the third Gold Cup he'd won that season, like, and God, he's gutsy. And I would say they're devastated over this.
He gave everything that day to beat Jack Dam and Coney Gree.
Yeah, they have to be devastated. Like, Kate Harrington rides him every day in work, and I would say she's sick to the stomach. Like, they thought they had him right, and now he's missing another season.
And he did look so good. He was coming on so strongly last time out before Barry Hegarty went down on him.
Yeah, I think he was unlucky that day.
Yeah, he's 10 now, isn't he? So kind of time's kind of catching up with him now, isn't it? A bit, I think, which is a great shame. So putting Sizing John to one side, I have to go with Elliot's horse again in Delta Work. I think Delta Work has a slightly better profile than Kenboy. Kenboy's the favourite, I think, marginally. Kenboy obviously had the issues over the ownership at the start of the season and wasn't able to run until Christmas. Delta Work was not great in his first outing. I think it was at Down Royal, but came on for that in his second outing. I think he's going to be hard to beat here.
I've gone for Delta Work as well. I just think the way he won at Christmas was gutsy, and hearing Gordon talk about him in interviews, that they still believe firmly that he is a Gold Cup horse, and the way he won the last day, if he can come out and win this, they'll definitely be very confident going on to Cheltenham that they're going to be a chance. And as you say, Martin, about Kenboy, I'd say Wally Mullins was left very frustrated, I'd say, with the owner Saga delaying his preparations for his Christmas run anyway. But I think Delta Work could be the one in this one.
I think Delta Work's a very classy horse and has a huge future. Like, he's only still 7. But I don't think I'll be backing him here. He's 2-1. I'd be considering him more for the Cheltenham Gold Cup. If the ground is good, I don't think there will be many to stop him here, but it's all ground dependent for me.
So where are you looking, Ryan, for this one?
I quite like La Bagoa, another good contender here, and she ran in Leopardstown last year in the Flogas Novice Chase, which she did win. You know, there was a lot of hype surrounding this horse earlier this season, and it would be nice to see her be competitive here. She's definitely better than her 25-1 price tag. I'd be hopeful she can run a big race here.
Anyone like presenting Percy?
To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of presenting Percy. I just can't see what the fuss is about.
I am a fan of presenting Percy, definitely, but I think there's just something gone amiss recently, and I would love to see him bounce back. But I just think Delta Work, the way he won the last day, seems to be in good nick, and if he turns up, but as Ryan says, ground dependent, possibly, he should be banged there come the finish.
And just a quick word on Jesse's other contender here, Jet. Bizarre price, 100-1. It's definitely overpriced here for this. He's never really been disgraced, and you know, if he brings his A game here, he should have a good say in this. 100-1 is just a bit nearly insulting.
He'll outrun his odds, that's for sure. There's as you say, like there's no chance he's 100-1 shot. He'll definitely outrun them odds.
So, what's your bet day 2, lads?
The one I like on day 2 again is in one of the handicaps, the William Fry handicap hurdle at 2:30. The Liam Cusack trained Snugsborough Benny. He always runs well and good handicaps, and he's had a small break. So if he's fit and well, he's got on there with a nice weight. I would say I would definitely be backing him each way. He should have a chance.
I've got two each ways for you in the 12:55. A Racing Records horse that we follow quite a lot, old Great White Shark.
Shark.
Right, got to put that one in there.
I haven't. Have a little piece done on him here. I'm going to stay loyal to my Cheltenham Antipos bet. Cerberus, he's in the Tattersall Spring Juvenile Hurdle. The best price he can get is 11-2, and I definitely think he's going to run a big race. I just can't see Aspire Tower being as good as what he's made out to be. Although I could have egg in my face, but we'll see. Elsewhere on day 2, I do like Grey White Shark. He's 25-1, but he's one of them horses that he'll either run a cracking race or he just won't go at all. But I do think he's too big at 25-1. He's got an entry into the 230, but I'd say he'll go in the 12:55.
I've got one in the 4 o'clock as well in the handicap chase. Bit of a punt, should be in the race. There's currently still 41 listed for this one, but I quite like number 19, Quamino, Nolan horse. Probably going to be ridden by Brian Cooper there. They're on a fantastic run at the moment. The horse has won with a higher weight. Is also won over the course and is also a distance winner as well. So hopefully that one will give me a good run for my money each way as well.
And the last race of the festival, Gordon Elliott has a Big Bad and Beautiful. I think she'll run a cracking race here too. And I'd say she'll probably win that with relative ease. I know, Dean, you're a fan of this one.
Oh, I'm a massive fan of this one. It's not often Jamie Codd gets really excited about a horse, but after it won the bumper at Navan, he says in an interview on Racing UK that he thinks this is the best mare Gordon Elliott has in his yard. Now that is saying something coming from that yard. They have got some classy mares in there, and for him to say that, yeah,
it's definitely interesting that, they're not running it in Cheltenham, but
as you know, Ryan, I was looking to see if I could get a price about it for Cheltenham for my anti-post selection for the page, but we couldn't find it anywhere.
He hasn't got an entry at all, which is a quite big surprise, to be honest, because, like you said, it's quality horse. And lads, just what would you say is your nap of the festival, and perhaps something to watch out for Cheltenham?
My nap of the festival is going to be Notebook. I'm a big fan. I think he'll go well. I think he'll win and could go on to Cheltenham as well. As far as Cheltenham goes, having watched the trials last week, the UK trials, Paisley Park was good. Nothing else for me really stood out. I thought Santini was okay, beating Bristol de May, but he only won by a couple of lengths, and Bristol de May clattered the third last. Had he not done that, maybe it would have been a little bit closer or even reversed. I don't know how much Santini had left. I think if something comes out of the Irish Gold Cup well, then there's a serious challenge from Ireland for that Gold Cup this year.
My nap of the meeting, I'm going to go here with Fakir Duderies. It's just the way, he's just been so impressive this season. And last time, I've made the excuse earlier on for him about losing the irons and getting slightly hampered, being blocked in. But I think this could be the main hope for Carrigan Og and Joseph for the festival at the Dublin Racing Festival.
My nap at the festival, I'm going to have to go battle over Diane. I just can't see him not beating Faheen on this one. He's a good price, for what he is, and he's just a beast. Then ones to watch for Cheltenham, I think Dover Star will actually suit Cheltenham. So hopefully he runs a big race there. He's entered into the champion hurdle. And then Cerberus is obviously another one of my picks. He's entered into the Triumph, and I mean, there's obviously a reason why McManus has bought him. And I'd say he sees the potential that is there with Cerberus.
My maybe one to keep an eye on for Cheltenham. It was on my horse tracker today. The Noel Kelly trained Decor Irlandese. I thought it ran a cracking race in the Grade 2 a couple of weeks ago. And Noel Kelly is a man that knows the time of day. And I think he's got a good one on his hands there. And I wouldn't be surprised. Come festival time, you'll see him rocking up in one of the big handicaps. Or even maybe a graded race.
There's an interesting horse running at Musselburgh on Sunday. He's running in the Scottish Supreme Novices Hurdle. His name's Wild Max. He's 40-1 for the Supreme Hurdle. I think if he wins that, he's going to have some serious odds slashed. I'd say he'll definitely be down to 20-1 first. Paul Nicholls trains him, and Harry Cobden will probably ride him. I'd imagine if he doesn't go with Echo.
Yeah, that's a good team as well, Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden.
Well, that wraps up part 2 of our Dublin Racing Festival podcast. If you are free this weekend, I definitely recommend going to Leopardstown for this festival. It has some of the biggest names in racing, and it's sure to be a great day. I'd like to thank Martin and Dean for joining myself here, and we will be back in March for the Racing Records Cheltenham podcast. And we'd like to thank you all for tuning in.